Hi there to all of you faithful viewers of Equinoxe television. It's 6 p.m. in Douala and it's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our major stories right away. The villagers of Tungan, a locality in Bafoussam in the West region, are still to understand how an 11-year-old boy brutally stabbed his father to death. The little boy explains that he stabbed his father several times with a knife because his dad refused him from going to see his mom. Please continue investigation in Bafoussam. We bring to you details of the sad news element in this newscast. And persons living with disabilities in Cameroon continue complaining of lack of consideration from the government and the society as a whole. People living with physical challenges say they also have dreams and should be given equal opportunities just like those who are considered valid by the society. Viewers, those are our big stories. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. To begin with this human interest story, a man has been apprehended by forces of law and order as he murdered another man by name Ikong Job Philip in the Cité Sikh neighborhood here in the economic capital Douala. Reports say the squabble between the two occurred after a truck controlled by the former mistakenly cut off a cable supplying electricity to the alleged murderous neighborhood. Let's now have more of what happened with Samantha and Gabriel.
The sudden death of their husband, son, and friend, Ikong Job Philip, still remains very fresh in the memories of several inhabitants of the Cité Sikh neighborhood in the Douala 5 subdivision. Ikong Job Philip died after a misunderstanding with a resident of the neighborhood as a truck transporting his goods mistakenly cut off a cable providing electricity to the house. As the truck was entering the neighborhood, it mistakenly cut off the cable providing electricity. They, the mother of the house, came out while the murderer pointed his torchlight on the face of the driver for him to stop. When the incident occurred, Ikong Job Philip came out peacefully to look for solutions to get the resident lighted again. He asked what was the problem. He was informed about the situation. Then he started calling for an electrician to come and help out. Things became sour as a bitter exchange of words started between the woman whose cable was cut and the victim, claiming it is a normal scenario every day. The mother started dragging the dress of the victim. The victim then asked the woman to respect him. Suddenly, his son appeared and gave a heavy punch that pushed the victim to fall on the ground with his head to the stone. After the incident, with the news about the demise of Ikong Job Philip, residents of the Cité Sikh neighborhood vandalized the house of the murderer as the murder ran for safety while security forces managed to get hold of the murderer. The said residence has been sealed by city council officials until further notice.
Over to Tungan, a locality in Bafoussam in the west region of the country, where an 11-year-old boy brutally took away the life of his own father. Back from work, Christian, a commercial motorbike rider who is the boy's father, was well received by his son Ishmael, who had been living with him for only a few months. Reports say that the son stabbed his father several times in his sleep because the latter refused him from going back to his mother's house. Details with Cedric Chakutio.
An 11-year-old adolescent has killed his father in Tungang, a neighborhood in Bafoussam, West region of Cameroon. Ismail is said to have stabbed his father to death while he was asleep over money he is said to have asked his father but had not received it. When his father came back from work, he asked him if he could put water for him to take his bath. After taking his bath, the latter laid down and fell asleep, holding tightly the bag in which was his daily income that his son tried to take away after stabbing him severally. I just saw a hole on his body and I asked what happened. He told me that his son stabbed him. We immediately went to the hospital. Brought at the regional hospital at Bafoussam, the medical staff will have nothing else to do than to confirm the death. Caught by the neighbors, the teenager will disclose the truth on what really happened. It wasn't my intention to kill him. I just wanted to go to my mom's house. He refused. So I stabbed him knowing that he will go to the hospital while I go to my mother's house. Christian's lifeless body was taken to his native village in Bameka, where his relatives struggled to understand what happened.
Très étonnant qu'un enfant de 12 ans puisse commettre ce genre d'erreur. Que la justice camerounaise me montre l'éclaircissement pour cette affaire. Nous sommes décrestés. Ce monsieur n'a rien fait. Il est innocent. Mieux veux-tu penser à monter ou d'aller tu laisses tranquille.
While she had been living with these children since her separation from their father, the mother of the main suspect is currently being held at the Central Police Station in Bafoussam. That she was complaining about the child's attitude to the father. For her, the child was so stubborn. For now, the forces of law and order are now examining the matter.
Sad indeed. And back to Douala. Security officials have opened investigations to identify and arrest an individual who infiltrated the Lagentini hospital on Tuesday night and vandalized the central oxygen supply system, putting the lives of several patients who were on oxygen in danger. The hoodlum, who was dismantling steel pipes and electric cables for sale in the black market, escaped, abandoning his pair of slippers and a bag. Innocent Aze has the details.
These pair of slippers and bag containing steel pipes belong to the hoodlum who infiltrated the Douala Lagentini hospital at about 11 p.m. Tuesday and vandalized the central oxygen supply system and other electrical installations in a bid to smuggle the dismantled cables and steel pipes out for sale in the black market. I was caught between midnight and 1 a.m. by the personnel in charge of the central oxygen supply system for oxygen installation as usual. Upon my arrival, I heard noise behind the oxygen manifold plant. When I approached, I saw a man dismantling the oxygen pipelines. He got up and took to his heels and escaped over the fence where he had removed the barbed wire. That was when I raised alarm. The staff, security team, and elements of the hospital's police post arrived to take stock of the situation. This unscrupulous act on the medical oxygen manifold, as termed by the hospital staff, stopped the transportation of oxygen from the manifold room through the main gas pipelines to the user terminal, endangering the lives of patients who were on oxygen in the emergency, reanimation and operation wards. That fateful night, 7 patients were on oxygen in these 3 emergency wards. Luckily, we immediately connected oxygen cylinders directly on the beds of the patients to save their lives. Such a devilish act has been deplored by the staff, imploring men of the underworld to stay off such delicate areas which support human lives. We also wish that these crucial areas be well protected from these ill-intended individuals so that the staff work in total security to save lives. An investigation to identify.
And now, why are young people more and more involved or engaged in criminal activities lately across the national territory? Cameroon, our reporter for me, Armstrong Sanders, spoke with a psychologist who attempts an answer to that question in the report which comes up next.
Yes, so Christian adds to a disturbing series of patricide and matricide recorded in Cameroon of late. The commercial motorbike rider by profession was surprised in a siesta by a stab on his abdomen from his 11-year-old son that took away his life. 2 months ago, precisely on October the 7th, 2024, a 45-year-old woman, Mama Marie Magdalene, was stabbed on his neck and killed by his 24-year-old son, Karel, in Makepe Misoke in the Douala 5 municipality. It came 6 months after a boy of 18 ended the life of his mother at the Marware neighborhood of Garwatu in the Benue of the North region of Cameroon. But what explains the growing parent murder is the question we asked Mr. Maurice Somo, a psychologist based in Douala.
The case we saw in Bafoussam comes from the fact that inside the family, the mother and father are not so long together. So as they are not together, their son can do everything he wants because the education he received is not the best one.
Accepted that separated or single parental families are not ideal foundations for sane and safe societies, Mr. Somo Maurice outlines the role of the society in the proper upbringing of this category of children.
Those who are in charge in society have the duty to give us, or to give to the family and to every family what is necessary for their sons to be calm.
In Cameroon, the Penal Code states that for offenses committed by people between the ages of 10 and 14, special measures apply as provided for by the law. For offenses committed by people between the ages of 14 and 18, criminal responsibility is established.
And now we continue talking about the International Day dedicated to persons living with disabilities. Individuals with special needs in Nous, in the Mongo division of the Littoral region are decrying continuous marginalization and the fact that they are being stigmatized by the society. Speaking during the commemoration of the International Day of Persons Living with Disabilities, the people urged the government and the community to reconsider them. Lucy Liengu Esie reports.
Social stigma to discrimination, persons with disabilities continue to experience a variety of obstacles affecting their lives.
They have certain extent of difficulty. The accessibility, decent job, discrimination. You have multiple and aggravated discrimination. Women, young girls that are exposed. And they are sidelined in the society.
On the streets of Nous, in the Mongo division, the disabled persons joined their voices denouncing persistent marginalization. They also urged their fellow brothers and sisters to desist from street begging, as most times they are being disrespected. In the country, many public facilities, transportation options do not provide necessary accommodations for these persons, making it hard for them to navigate.
Ceux à qui ils ont vraiment besoin à joindre.
Helping people with special needs will go a long way to facilitate their integration in the society. So doing, it will reduce negative perceptions and isolation. The International Day of Persons Living with Disabilities was an occasion for them to showcase their talents via singing and exhibitions.
We will be discussing more on that in the second part of the news. Now, as cases of femicide continue to skyrocket in Cameroon, civil society actors and human rights defenders say there is an urgent need for all stakeholders to come on board and see how they can stop the rising phenomenon that is a killing of women. The call comes at a time when at least 67 cases of femicides have been recorded across the national territory just in the year 2024. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
At least 67 women have been killed either by their spouses or unknown individuals since the start of the year. Though cases of femicide have noticed a drop this year compared to the 80 cases recorded in 2023, civil society actors say there is a need for everyone to put hands on deck and fight against the ill. The main issue is that a lot of those whose rights are being violated are silent. We are talking of 67 cases of femicide in a year, but I think the number is even small. That's because not all cases are reported. We are calling on competent authorities not to slumber, but rather put in place measures on the ground that will enable perpetrators not to go unpunished. We should not let this to continue, or else more lives will continue to be lost. Another issue raised is the silence of neighbors who often witness cases of violence but decide to stay mute for fear of the unknown. They urge government authorities through the Ministry of Women Empowerment and the Family to sit up and follow up cases of femicide so perpetrators are punished accordingly.
pour justement permettre à ces femmes-là.
Most women who are victims of violence often stay silent because they claim they don't have where to go to with their children. Those we spoke to say leaving their husband's house will be an extra burden given that they will have to start life from afresh. I think the Ministry of Women Empowerment and the Family need to think on how they can help most of these women who decide to leave their homes so they don't need to worry about where to live. On the occasion of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women celebrated on November 25th, rights defenders and civil society actors engaged 16 days activism to sensitize, mobilize and educate the population on the need to stop acts of violence.
Thank you, Immaculate. And that report brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Talking Points comes up next. Welcome back, viewers. And our guest tonight is Nerolel Roslyn Prudence. She is an amputee. She has been living with her disability, that is, she has been on one leg since the age of 9. Thank you, Roslyn, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Points tonight. December 3 was observed as the International Day of Persons Living with Disabilities. You are an amputee, which means you were directly concerned. You lost one of your legs, like I mentioned, at the age of 9, that is when you were coming back from school. Today you are 28. Of what importance, Roslyn, is the day to you as an amputee, that is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities?
Thank you first to invite me to this show, TV. I can say that about a day consecrated to people living with disability, it is already a good initiative, because it means that people care about us, maybe, and that we are a special person. Now, I can say also in another part that just one day for person living with disability is not enough, because we have our challenge every day. We face challenge every day, and every day that we overcome challenges, we are like, it is our day. Then I can say that we face challenge every day. We have problems, difficulties every day. We can say also we have our joy. We have joy, maybe joy situation also. Then we can say that it is already good to have a day like that consecrated to us, but our day needs to be every day. Thank you.
That's good, Roslyn. Now, you were already talking about challenges. You just mentioned that you guys have challenges on a daily basis. Can you expatiate more on the difficulties persons with disabilities in Cameroon face as they go about their daily activities?
The challenges are really enough concerning the challenges of people living with disability in Cameroon. We have professional challenges first, because we have also people living with disability when they have their, how to say that, their certificate when they are graduate. It's not really easy to find a job that they have, maybe a job according to what they have studied at university or maybe at school. For those who even go at school, because we have some people even in some family who does not go at school, then it's not really easy, who does not have access to education. Yeah, we still have them, no matter how they, maybe the government is giving their best, doing their best to maybe settle all those things. No matter the sensibilization, it's not really easy. Also, in our environment, it's not really easy, because the society, we face some discrimination in the society. Even in our family, we are considered like, we can say that half of people, they are half of person, then we are not a complete human being in the society. Some others consider us like sick person, yeah. But sometimes we just need to tell them, or maybe we just want them to understand that we are not sick. Yes, we have a disability like every human being, but it is part of us and it is our difference. We just want and maybe need chance, equity, like everybody, like every human beings. Then we face a lot of challenges. It is not really easy, but we are working.
Thank you, Roslyn. Just to precise that you are bilingual, but your first language is French. Now, can you explain to us how did you lose your leg? That was your left leg, if I'm not mistaken. You told us briefly that it was when you were coming back to school. Can you tell us a little more?
I lost my leg when I was 9 years old. After an accident of circulation, I was coming back from school. And I was with my sisters and my friends. Then we were going back home, and the bus came behind and started, maybe he pushed us. Maybe I just got the opportunity maybe to push my sister and my friends for them to escape. After that, I wanted to escape. The boss pushed me, and I think that something, I don't know if I need to say that, maybe he jumped or some things on my two legs, and that is what happened.
And Roslyn, since 9 you have been living, you've been surviving on just one leg. You came to, you are on crutches now. And can you tell us, how have you been coping, moving around the town of Douala and also having access to story buildings?
It is not really easy sometimes. We have some structure that really respect the fact that when they build maybe their enterprise, or maybe when they make some building, they respect the fact that they can have people living with disability, but most of them does not respect that, because we have some stairs. It is not even easy maybe for a person living with disability. Maybe I can take the example, me, I'm an amputee. I just try my best because I do sport, but another person living with disability, or maybe another amputee, it can be maybe difficult for that person, or maybe a person with a wheelchair, or maybe in a wheelchair. Then it is not really easy, the situation, but we try our best. We hope that things will change in the future.
Now, you are a holder of a master's degree, like you told us. Are there some opportunities that disabled persons or persons living with disabilities sometimes miss just because they are disabled?
Not really easy in the society like us, when a lot of people, a lot of things maybe are done. Maybe I don't know how to say it. Is there maybe for people, I don't know if I need to say it, maybe able people. It is not really easy. You know, the society, the actual society, we have the impression that the actual society is considering us like different people, different type of person. It's not really easy at this point. I think that if some mentality can be changed, I think that a lot of things can be settled.
And now, what do you want to be changed at the level of the government or the society to better the living conditions of those living with disabilities in Cameroon like yourself?
Mentalities need to be changed. Because if we are not changing, if we cannot change our mentality, we cannot move forward. It's not possible. When you have, it starts in the family. When you have a child living with disability, a friend or a brother, I don't know, first of all, you need to give him his space, like all the members of the family. You need to treat him with equitability, like all the members of the family. You need to understand that he has a dream, he has the right to school, he has the right to do a lot of things. He's not a half of person. He's a person, a complete human being like you. Maybe who is different and have his own needs, but everybody has needs. Then now in the society, in the professional part, I think that we need chance to express ourselves. When we enter inside an enterprise, the person who is maybe the employee need to understand that we are here because we study it in school, maybe at university. We know what we are doing. Then we need to have our chance to express ourselves. Not just we don't want people to be focused in maybe on our handicap, in our disabilities. We just need people to express, to leave us, maybe to permit us to express ourselves. Also, at the level of the government, I think that we need to be encouraged more. Maybe they are doing already their best. They are doing their best, but it is not sufficient, because we have a lot of people living with disability in Cameroon. We have a lot of people who is struggling. We have a lot of people who has bigger dreams. They have big dreams. They just want help. They have projects, but nobody has seen them, because it is not all the people living with disability of Cameroon who are inside association. We have a lot in their families. They don't even know about the existence, or maybe the power of an association, or being in an association. A lot, maybe even still now, they don't have disability card. They don't know even their advantages, maybe the advantage to have that disability card. They don't know what they can do. Then I think that we should maybe communicate more and give more space and give more opportunities to people living with disability.
Now, Roslyn, you have been living, surviving on or with one leg since the age of 9, yet you are a sporter, though an amputee. Can you tell us how you got interested in sports?
Concerning sport, I started in 2020 by being a player and a leader at the same time. Then to play amputee football, playing amputee football is an advantage too, because you have the possibility to be together with maybe also others people living with disability, or maybe others amputees like you. You can share story with them. And also, if your dream is to excel in sport, it is also a good thing, because example with amputee football, because I'm not doing just amputee football, I'm doing also paratech ball. But with amputee football, for example, you can sign, you can play, you can participate to national competition, you can participate to international competition, you can even sign contract out of the country. It is something really good, because it helps you also to overcome your limits and to be together to others, to share story, and maybe to have the opportunity to realize your dream.
Courage to you, Roslyn, and to others who are living with disabilities out there. And like we always say, disability is not inability. Roslyn, what words of encouragement to other persons living with physical challenges before we go?
The only thing that I can say to people living with disabilities is just believe in the beauty of your dream. Never give up, because if you don't smile, nobody will smile for you. You need to fight, yes. And if you want people, the society, to consider you, or maybe to give you your place and your space, first of all, you need to assume yourself, to like yourself, to love yourself, and to show to people how you want them to see you. It is the most important things in life.
Excellent. Thank you, Roslyn, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Points tonight. And viewers, thank you so much for always being with us. Roslyn, hope to have you some other time. Don't go away, viewers. Our programs continue. Equinoxe live from Yaoundé with Celia Lengutu. That would be as from 7 p.m. And the news in the French language with Julien Beth beside us would be at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television, and see you again tomorrow, same time. God willing. Bye-bye for now.